Hello everyone, so as you can see on the title, I'm gonna draw your OCs in my style today. So thank you for submitting your OCs on Instagram. They all look amazing as they are. This one reminds me of Enid so much, and also the cat looks really cute. Then again, thank you so much for submitting your OCs on Instagram by using the hashtag #MyOC. All of your OCs look amazing. The design, the colors, it looks good, it looks cute. So for this video, I'm gonna be drawing OC by Shadow_art, and the second one is by GSNF8015. So now I'm gonna search a reference pose for our character, and this one I think will suit the character more. By the way, I've seen a lot of comments on my previous short videos asking me how I sketch, and the answer is I sketch differently with and without reference. Without reference, I use guidelines more and lots of strokes. By the way, I'm using Deep and Hard for the sketch as well as the line art. Now with the reference, I tend to focus on the shapes of the empty spaces on the reference, like this, the one that I'm outlining in red right now. Then I'll put a side-by-side comparison so you can see what I meant. So here I redrew all of the red outline that I did on the photo reference and just polished it up with different shapes that I see and added eyes, nose. So now I'm applying the same technique that I showed earlier. The only difference is that I'm only referencing the pose for the character. I rarely use my custom brush, by the way, because I only use them for certain textures. The 5 brushes that I often use are Deep and Hard, and a Fade, Airbrush, Soft Pastel, and Fade Watercolor Opaque. And now I'm using the liquify tool so I don't have to draw it over and over again. Any art software that has liquify tool is a 10 out of 10. Like for real. For the line art, I lowered the opacity of the sketch so I can see it more clearly. When I'm doing a line art, I don't really try to perfect it much or polish it much because I'll paint over it later anyways once I start rendering. Once I'm done doing the line art, I set it to multiply so I can still see over the line work when I start coloring or shading. I put it both in a folder just in case I need it for later. I'll start doing the base color now so we can shade it. Also, I saw a comment why I do this on my shorts video. If you watch my short video, always do this at the start. The only reason I do this is because I only need to add a new layer and then just clip it to this layer that I will fill, and I don't have to do all that outline and again and again. And I just have to add new layer, then clip it to this layer, and then just repeat, and then the colors won't go out when I add a new layer. Their OC has a pale desaturated skin tone, just kind of my anti-style because I often use vibrant colors. I really love how their OC is really simple. The design is simple but it still looks elegant. Also, it reminded me of Jennie, if you know Jennie from Blackpink. Wow, her lips is scrumptious. When I'm doing lips, go from pale to vibrant, then add shadow. I'm using pen fade now, then highlight. Actually, the highlights are like what's making it pop really, what's making it juicy. I noticed she has a really subtle blush, so let's put it here to make the skin more alive, to make the skin more lively and less dull to look at. Notice how I gently just tap the skin. Her skin might be, sensitive. Good thing her OC has Aegyosa. I'm so in love with art styles that has Aegyosa. Aegyosa, I don't know why, but it just makes the eye look kinda young and bigger and more appealing to look at.
어제까지도 우리는 같이 있었고 이제는 네가 떠나도 I don't care about it all. 어제까지도 우리는 같이 있었고 이제는 네가 떠나도 I don't care about it all. 어젯밤과 함께 떠난 게 넌 나를 전혀 바라보지 않잖아. 우리 둘 사이 관계는 깊지 않아 보이는 거 알잖아.
So for the next OC, I kind of want to give him headphones, but I sticked with AirPods because I don't know, I think it would fit him more with AirPods. Also, in this next OC, I don't need to switch back and forth much on the reference window because the reference image that I chose kind of resembled their OC, and the only difference I see was the color of his jacket. Also, I'm using pen fade with low opacity so I can blend colors easily. With low opacity, it's kind of like layering. For example, if you have a traditional background, when you have a watercolor and then you put more water, it's just lower opacity. But if you put like more pigments, you're not lowering the opacity, you were increasing the opacity. So yeah, that's how opacity works. So I decided to add a background because it's pretty simple and don't need too much details, and I'm just gonna blur it anyway. A tip about painting eye, I don't use pure white, and the space between the eyes is usually one eye apart. Once it starts to look kind of accurate, I then merge all the layers and then paint over on top of it, so it's easier to liquefy everything all at once, and then like make adjustment, erase edges that are not needed. So I'll just paint over it, and then if I wanna make something darker, I add a multiply layer on top of that merged layer. And if I wanted to add, let's say, highlights, I can add overlay layer on top or soft light layer. decided to give him a bag so it will look like he's a student.
우리는 같이 있었고 이제는 네가 떠나도 I don't care about it all.
So here's the finished version of the two OCs. If you want me to draw your OC, use the hashtag HoshiDrawMyOC2. Tag me on Instagram and I'll see you on my next one. Bye!
어젯밤과 함께 떠난 게 넌 나를 전혀 바라보지 않잖아. 우리 둘 사이 관계는 깊지 않아 보이는 거 알잖아.